Control mechanisms in Islamic banks in Malaysia and Bahrain. Control mechanisms are policies and procedures that financial institutions establish to reduce risks and ensure they meet operating, reporting, and compliance objectives. These are usually in form of internal control programs which are designed to ensure organizations operate effectively, assets are safeguarded, reliable financial records are produced, and applicable laws and regulations are complied with. In addition to the conventional banks' control mechanisms, Islamic banks make use of Sharia governance frameworks enacted by their relevant jurisdictions, the Islamic International Rating Agency, IIRA, and the Islamic Financial Services Board, IFSB, and the Accounting and Auditing Organization for Islamic Financial Institutions, AIFI, which are the international bodies of monitoring the Islamic banking industry. Malaysia's regulatory framework can be regarded as one of the most advanced and comprehensive frameworks globally. Efforts are in place for Islamic banks to put greater emphasis on the aspects of transparency and disclosure, risk management, and investment strategies, but less emphasis on capital requirements. On the hand, Bahrain is host to a number of organizations central to the development of Islamic finance with commitment to a complete regulatory infrastructure being evident in that various regulatory bodies have been set up to ensure a comprehensive regulatory environment. In Malaysia, legislation has been passed by a representative assembly while in Bahrain, regulations have been issued by a bank regulatory authority, the Central Bank of Bahrain, CBB. Both countries have separate independent regulatory frameworks, one for Islamic banks, and another for conventional banks, and enacted separate laws to operationalize Islamic banks. The central banks, Bank Negara Malaysia, BNM, and CBB, is the institution responsible for the supervision, licensing and authorization of Islamic banks. BNM has its own Sharia Board, Sharia Advisory Council, SAC, while the CBB has no Central Sharia Supervisory Board, SSB. The presence of SSB for Malaysia is not only established at the main regulatory level, BNM, but also at the institutional level. Bahrain, on the other hand, has Sharia boards that exist only at the institutional level. The CBB Rulebook Volume 2 provides a clear legal requirement for the establishment of the Sharia board in IFIs in Bahrain, in which failure to do that will constitute non-compliance with the CBB's directive. The establishment of the National Sharia Advisory Board of the CBB is different with the case of Malaysia, as it does not have authority upon the other IFIs. Both countries have consumer safety programs for its IBI, with Malaysia having completely separated its deposit insurance scheme for Islamic banks from conventional counterparts.